Hi, welcome back. This is part two of my campaign update for today, Sunday, the 19th of October. And it is the State of the Union part of my campaign. So, I was saying before that corruption has no place in our government, and it's true. It has no place anywhere. But in business, you can't always prevent it, but in government, it should be preventable. And we need people with integrity in our government, and we don't have that. So currently, we don't really have a lot of women, I think, working in powerful positions, and maybe that's the problem. Men seem to go easily to corruption. They seem to be easily bribed and tricked, and I don't really mean to bring stereotypes, but sometimes you have to use stereotypes because there's a lot of truth in them. And not only are men often corrupt, but apparently they can't balance a budget. That's why we have the government shutdown going on. So, yesterday there was the No Kings March all over the country, and in fact all over the world. But right now I'm focusing on our country. And again, tyranny is not acceptable. Taxation without representation is not acceptable. And that's what we have. We are being taxed every day, but yet our representatives are not showing up to work because the government has shut down. So where is our representation? Not even that. They don't even listen to the average person either. That's the problem. They listen to the lobbyists. And this is where the big problem is. They don't care about you and me. And that's what these rallies and marches are about. We are fed up. The people have had enough. It is time for change. I have been saying this since 2020, actually 2019 when I started. We need change. We need government change. We need election reform. We need lots of reform. And it's not so hard to do, It's just not. So, any government official watching me now needs to look at what happened yesterday all over our country. We had people protesting, not for the joy of protesting. Some of them were, but a lot of them were protesting because they really are feeling the effects of tyranny on the people. We, the United States, became a country exactly for this reason. We were being taxed, and we were not being represented. We were not being heard, and the people were corrupt who were in the government. And we're at that place again. Now, I don't know. Something's got to give because it's not working anymore. Now, I've given many suggestions on ways to go about a new government, a new constitution, what makes sense, saving money, and all this. And I've seen nothing. I've heard nothing. I keep telling you all in the Supreme Court that I have this lawsuit pending. You can act at any time and we can begin anew. Nothing. So what is it really going to take, folks? President Trump, what's it going to take? I guess one thing I do want to also suggest is that to the marchers and the rally people and the rally organizers, rallies are good, marching is good, it's good to show solidarity, but if you're not following it up with lawsuits and letters to your president, to your governor, to your congresspeople, then it's a waste of time. Because they don't really know who's in what district and who's saying what and what the real problem is. So write them. I mean, most of the people that I know that were at these rallies are very well-educated people who have a computer, who could write a letter, write an email, contact your government and tell them you are not satisfied. Make it brief. It doesn't have to be a long, you don't want to send a book. You want to send an email with a few pages, a few paragraphs. That's what I was looking for. A few paragraphs. Get to the point and get it out there and get them working on the problem. If we don't say things to them, they don't know we're dissatisfied. I mean, the other part is that they are corrupt and they might just not read it and might not do anything about it, which is also unacceptable. We should be able to put a lawsuit through to say that we got no satisfaction from our representative. But I don't know if that's possible, but it should be. But I've done the next best thing because I discovered all this fraud in the election process, and I've got lawsuits, or I had lawsuits. I've got one pending with the Supreme Court currently. And so that is where we are. People are not happy. And I hear you people. I hear the people. I have a plan to reconstruct our election process, and I have a plan to reconstruct our government, and we need to implement these immediately. We don't need to mess around. Trump is trying to play peace bringer, and he's not really focused on the USA anymore, and this is really frustrating. It's actually unacceptable. Now, like I said, too, I hold the Democrats and Republicans, I hold them responsible for our current government state, for our current country state, because they're the only ones in power. They wouldn't let anybody else in. There's no Green Party or Libertarian or Constitution or Freedom or any of the other parties out there. They're not there. They're not in office, so you can't blame them. You can only blame the Democrats and Republicans. And so you did it to yourselves. So we need to arrest these people because they're corrupt and they are holding us hostage. It's unacceptable. Votes went uncounted in the 2024 presidential election. Votes went uncounted in probably every election that I have been alive for. So since 1965. So this is just... Is it going to have to be violence? Is that really what the government wants? Violence. Because that's pretty much what we haven't done yet. Maybe we have to disrupt everything a bit more, too. As what's his name? Frederick Douglass says, in The Actor at least, in the Frederick Douglass Museum in D.C., there's a video that says, agitate, agitate, agitate. It's like the last words he said, apparently. So is that really what we have to do? Agitate, agitate, agitate? It doesn't sound like peace to me, but there are times where it's needed, and now is this time. So, folks, what I will say, I didn't hear of any big mass shootings this week, so at least we didn't have that. And the No Kings marches seem to have gone forward without a lot of harassment. So that's also good. The voice of the people needs to be heard. We don't need a middleman. We're paying taxes so we can have representatives not represent us. It's time to stop that. Okay, so thank you for listening. We gotta give the power to the people. So we need to remove the House of Representatives, and then the people can represent themselves directly, vote directly like they do in other countries. And that way all voices are heard, whether they're Democrat, Republican, Green, or Libertarian, or independent, or write-in, or whatever. All voices are heard, which is how it should be. If you're a U.S. citizen, you have the right to vote. No form of registration needs to be done. You do need to let your town know that you're living there. So whether you go to the town hall or whether you go to the county clerk and you say, I'm living here, this is my permanent residence, this is where I will be taxed, that's what you do. And then all U.S. citizens will get an envelope delivered to them at their main residence, according to the IRS, and you vote there. If you're rich and you have 10 homes in 10 different states, you don't get to vote in 10 different states, no. You vote in one state, in your main resident state. That's it. One state. Not in 10. One. So, we got lots of problems, and our voices need to be heard. So apparently, the wealthy are concerned because there are more of us than them. So we do have power in numbers. We don't really want to do the mob concept, but we want to do the power in numbers concept to influence. Okay, my name is Susan Maud Buchser-Lochocki. I am a presidential candidate from the 2024 presidential election. My website is susan4usa.com. That's Susan, the number 4, usa.com. Stop by there and have a look. And if you're on YouTube or other channels, don't forget to like and subscribe to whatever page you're on of mine. And that's it for now. I feel the Supreme Court is getting closer to making a ruling on my lawsuit. So I'm quite hopeful. But until then, we have to just keep going. So thanks for stopping by. State of the World is coming up next. Bye for now.